Now see, on this one, they have the screw, and I'm going to have to take the screw off, and it's got a little plastic clip on the back side that they kind of use sort of as a washer. That way the screw doesn't fall out. They used to put the screws in a plastic bag inside the box when you're selling these, but then it was a hassle. See, there's just this little black plastic clip. You push it on there and it holds. And they do that nowadays just so you know where the screws are. And especially if they sell these singularly, and if they're not in a box at the store, the screws are already attached like that. See, I'm undoing the screw because I can't reach it. Now, when there's enough, if I don't want to unscrew it the whole thing, I can pull on it and it comes out as I'm holding the back side of this. So see, I'm gonna save these in case I need them for something else. Don't ever throw your stuff away. And I can put everything back in this box. I can cross off lighted with my felt tip pin. Let's say this will not be this will just be a regular switch now. Okay. And I can put all my stuff in there, my old switch, those screws, and that. Okay, so now we're going to take this and put it in. How are we going to push this in? Well, I do it kind of like an S. Kind of hold this up or hold it down. Get my fingers in there and push this side up and then pull this side down to kind of make like an S or something. Okay. Then now I can get that, and I should be able to push it straight in and have enough room like that. Twist this a little bit, hold it in there, make it look like it's about right, and I try to get it so that it's facing out, so this isn't crooked. If you put it in and this is slightly crooked and you tighten it up, your cover plate's not going to be flush, and then you can't do it later. You got to pull it out, have enough room so that you can move this around. Okay, so I'm going to hold that up there. That looks really good. Okay, so now I can just take my sheetrock screws and fish them in there. Don't tighten it up yet until you get both screws in. Now I'm going to tighten it up. I can see on the wall where the old one was, and I can kind of mimic the placement, and then I can adjust that. I can adjust it a little bit if the cover plate ends up looking like it's crooked. Okay, this one I'm going to slide over a little bit. Just going to make that snug. Okay, don't tighten it up too tight. Now I'm going to hold my cover on there, and I want it flush, and it looks like I've got to loosen this up a little bit. Just a hair, because when I tighten down this, I want this edge to be flush. Boy. Okay. Hold that up there. Look and see if it's straight, if you have to, and if it's next to a door jamb, you can measure it. 7 3/4, 7 3/4. So this bottom would have to come it looked pretty straight at first. And moved it just like that. I can hold that on there. It looks good right there. And I don't want to get that too tight or anything, but that looks good. Look at your cover plate, see if you need to clean it off or anything. Now's a good time to check that if you got any little paint on this edge. Let's say now's your chance to clean it off. It looks pretty good, this one. You'd be surprised at how dirty cover plates can get. And the screws aren't very long, so as you're putting them in, you don't want to over tighten them because you could crack the cover plate. Okay. Come on. Hold your mouth just right. Hope that you catch that. Okay. That looks pretty good. There. And I don't care if the screw line isn't straight across or straight up and down or anything. My electrician, he used to like to do things and get everything lined up, whatever, because maybe this one has to be tightened up a little bit more, and you do that and you crack this. Nothing doing. Okay, that's it. Let's turn on the lights and see what happens. Okay, I'm fishing for the breaker. Got the breaker on now. And before I turn anything on, I'm going to turn this construction light off. You see there? It doesn't look like much, does it? But at night, when you're fishing around for a light, you'll see that. Turn it on. Lights work. Okay. Now you can't see that light, can you? When you turn it off, it lights up. Well, there we go. You've done it by Joe. Remember the switch I pulled out? I'll just use these new screws for this one. Put it on there. Save that for next time. And I'll just keep it right here in my box. Stick that in the garage with all my other electrical stuff. Okay. Well, I just installed that lit switch. I took a regular paddle single pole switch out and installed that lit switch. That's not part of this video though. You can see that on my channel. I was waiting to actually get back out here and do some more work. And I've got, next time I do a switch, I'll install a three-way lighted switch. And then look at this. Here's a dimmer switch, and this is a three-way. I can hook it up single pole or three-way, and I'm going to use this as a three-way. I didn't even know I could do that. And I think you have to buy a dimmer that says three-way. Okay, I'll do that another time. I'm kind of anxious to see how that's going to work. But for this, particular video, I'm going to lay down some Tyvek paper, Tyvek wrap, home wrap. I'm actually going to put it on the floor. Put it on the floor? It's not designed to be installed on the floor. I know it's not. But that's what I'm going to do. And I've already put some roofing, mastic, flooring, goop, whatever you want to call it. And I've already put that down here. I've done it at least 4 different coats, maybe 5, and I went around the edges with the webbing tape and all that kind of stuff. This is all like a layer of rubber now. And it should be fine when I get ready to install these concrete pavers back down, but I want to be extra fine. So I thought I would put some Tyvek paper wrap, home wrap down. And I was reading on it. It gives you an air barrier and a water barrier, specifically when you're installing it on walls before you install stucco, let's say, or before you install exterior siding, stuff like that. And I'm actually doing a water test. They said it doesn't hold, it's not waterproof, but check this out. I've had this water right here on top of this bucket for 2 days, and I've already done one test for 1 day. I pulled it back up. The bucket was dry as a bone, and I'm letting this set for another 5 or 6 days. I want to leave it here for at least a week and see if this water is going to leak through here. This has microscopic little pockets of air. It's designed to breathe, but yet it's designed to hold the water out, specifically when the water is coming down a wall. If it gets leaked, if your stucco leaks, your siding leaks, you know how water driplets on a brand new car or windshield, sometimes it rolls off in driplets, just little water droplets. Well, that's what this stuff does when it's on here. But I want to put it down here on the floor because that's going to be an added barrier for when the water comes through these concrete pavers. It's going to hit that barrier first and it's going to flow out. If it leaks and eventually penetrates through this and gets down on the floor, that's fine too, because that's where I got my primary flooring material down. This is so that if my floor ever gets some dips and valleys in it, and if the water stays there for weeks on end, let's say in the winter, and it starts, hopefully it doesn't start affecting and tearing apart this flooring material that I put down, because this is supposed to act like a rubbery base. Okay, it's designed to be put on flat roofs, right over existing flat roofs, as a matter of fact. So I've coated this at least 5 times with the roller and rolled it down, so it's pretty thick. And I built up this area over here. I had a little bit of a low spot over here, and my concern was, if that water sits there for weeks on end, is it going to eat through this floor? No way for me to tell unless I crawl underneath the floor, you know, a year from now after the winter, and see if it's gotten damaged and if it's failed. Well, I don't want to and if it has failed, what do I have to do? Pull the floor back up and then go about and fixing it? So that's why I want to put the Tyvek paper down too, just as an added barrier. Okay, that's my thought. Most people would probably say, yeah, that's not going to work, don't do it. It's just going to help, that's all. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos.